Hello, everyone. I am a little bit late. I apologize for that. I was getting my new microphone set up. Actually, it's the same microphone, but I got a boom today. And so now hopefully my audio is clearer. And so I don't know who is here just yet, and that's fine. Looks like nobody yet, but I am trying this out now. See how hopefully this looks better. So, what were we doing today? We were going to, or I was going to, well, me and Wombat are here. Hey, Wombat. We're back. I almost forgot him, actually. I was just getting ready here and just kind of get my audio set up, which was, I had a little bit of a problem because I had to unplug the microphone and plug it back in. But, anyway, I had forgotten about Wombat, and then he wandered upstairs, and he's like, am I on camera yet? And so I had to put him on camera, and so here he is now. So luckily, he's back. Anyway, I'm here now. So, okay. So I was going to look into fixing the transcript. I did a little bit, but I didn't make a whole lot of progress. But I decided that I kind of wanted to play around with some filters again and just kind of wrap that up. I wanted to, I actually started to go down the path of playing with different filters. And I started adding, let's see here, we had added in this file the loud norm filter. And I want to add the one more filter here. I put it at the top. I think it's just the compand. Maybe it's the compand again. Anyway, I had some ideas yesterday. I was thinking that the way we are setting up, and I started making a readme here too. Sorry, I'm a little bit spacey today. I was thinking that right now we have this kind of like ZF pop up a little widget. Let me go into a transcript here. You can see that we've got a default. Oh, I had to fix a bug. Hold on. Okay, so first of all, I have to fix this bug. I tried to give a demo yesterday to my friend, and right, we can't use this if yeah, it's not creating the MPV object here. So I'm going to see if I can't find this. No. So MPV is none. When does it set it? It sets it if source audio. And I want to make it so that we're... Oh, I'm not putting the source audio in there anymore? Is that right? I see. I have to... Oh, I see. Okay. Right. Well, no, that's fine. I should look for it. Oh, I see. There's no actual... All right, I couldn't find the... No matching audio file. That's actually... Okay, that's a warning. Probably a bit bigger warning than... Well, it's a warning anyway. So I can't use that one. I have to use this other transcript. Okay, this should work. Yep, there we go. Okay, and so everybody can hear me. Is that right? Is anybody on here yet? Can y'all hear me? Not yet. Okay. Well, anyway, so I was oh, okay. Hey, Anya. I'm not sure why I can't see. Yeah, so this is my new boom that I got. Is it too loud? It's heading up into the yellow area here. On OBS, so I'm not sure if I should lower it either in Pavu Control or on OBS. So I'm looking forward to hearing what your feedback is on this, so you can tell me. Oh, okay. Well, this is where I'm at then. And if I'm facing straight forward, so if you want to tell me if I need to move the mic closer to my face now, or if this is still fine, that'd be great. So anyway, the first task for today was to make it so that we can do different filters. Yeah, well, it makes sense that it's a bit better, closer to my face. I mean, there's a reason people use this kind of stuff. I'm trying to make it so it's not obscuring my view, and it's not obscuring my view of my main monitor, just my side monitor, which is where OBS is. But I think that's okay because I can still see the chat. So anyway, so here we are. I press ZF and I can set which filter parameter I want to adjust. But I don't like this interface. It is nice that I can search and I can automatically filter like the command palette, but it doesn't show me a lot of information that I want. So my idea that I had last night was to make a filters sheet. And it can be either a filters, we have a filters parameter sheet, right? vdaw filters. Yeah, we have this. And I suppose I could just use this. I was kind of thinking of making two levels. One with a filters sheet, which lists just agate and loud norm and whatever the supported filters are. And then the second level, which you press enter on one of those and it shows you the actual literal parameters just for that one filter. So that's a possibility. The other one is to show all possible filters. I'm sorry, all possible filters and filter parameters on this single sheet here. And that might be kind of handy. Maybe that's actually even easier for the moment. And then it should show not just the agate, but the other one. Maybe actually I'll just try that. And then I can have like a to add the current filter. Because you shouldn't be adding rows onto this sheet. So I think A for adding is fine. Let me start with that. Let me just go ahead and add loud norm to this sheet. So open vdaw filters. Oh, that was backtick. Oh, that's interesting. I kind of like F. I really want Shift F for this, but the frequency table is such a important part of vdaw on Shift F that I think I can't get away with that. So I don't know if it should be F or backtick. I'm going to change it to F right now. It's more canonical. And F for fill. Well, it's an open debate whether fill, the action, is more likely on the vdaw sheet than opening the filters page. This is more mnemonic anyway. Okay, so if we go to this sheet and I wanted to add, let me ask, so here we go, filter parameters sheet. Filter parameters sheet. And I want to load all. So actually, I think I'm just missing the defaults here for the loud norm. If I added I'll add all the options and the defaults, then that will just hook it up. So maybe I will. I had a clearer idea what I was doing before I started looking at the code, which makes sense. Okay, I think that we're going to do two things here. One, the first thing is, hello, I can't pronounce your name, Ushin, maybe? Nice to see you here. So I think I have two things to do. I think one is just, like I was saying, add the parameters. I'm going to do this by hand right now, just to keep it simple. I think I'm going to, Ushin, okay, cool. And then I'm going to, I think, as I've been talking about for a while, move the defaults into, just make the first value in each of these lists the default. And so I don't have to have the default set. It will just be that. I kind of was thinking that the 0 option would be off, but it's kind of complicated, and maybe it's better that 0 just means default for now. And then 1 through 9 are the lowest to the highest, 1 being the lowest, 9 being the highest setting that we've specified in these values here. Okay, well, let's do that. So defaults, we don't Oh, wait, there's a current value of the parameters. How should I do this? It was convenient that I could just copy the whole dict here, but maybe it's, I mean, it probably is just better. I'm going to set current parameter values. Well, you know what? I'll make it so that adding a filter sets the parameters to their defaults, and that way we don't have to set them by default. So, hey, to answer your question, does vdaw use pandas or polars under the hood? There is a pandas module so that you can go ahead and talk to pandas things, but no, under the hood there is virtually no dependencies in vdaw. It is just pure Python, and so we do everything by hand, or without any other libraries like pandas or polars, and so we suffer performance problems for that. I mean, we're not as fast as pandas or polars, but we're also not as heavy. We don't have that many dependencies or any dependencies, and we're not beholden to using pandas patterns. So one of the things we can do is we can think about things in terms of rows as opposed to just in terms of columns, or at least a lot easier in vdaw to do that. Okay, let's look at the defaults here. I'm curious, Sushin, what you use vdaw for, and do you want it to use pandas? Do you use pandas otherwise? Are you just curious? Anyway, I'm just curious what your relationship to vdaw is. Okay, so I wanted to make the add command here. Oh, A for add marker, but we're going to make it be on the filters sheet. Add filter. Oh, nice. That seems like a good use of it. And especially, I mean, at worst, you can export it to a different format if you need to. Yeah, I think about a gigabyte or some like 1 to 10 million rows is probably the limit of vdaw's abilities, at least at the moment. No, it's not that. It's going to be dict where it's the filter harm name and the def value for filter options for that. That's okay. I appreciate not wanting to distract me, but a big reason why I'm here is to feel like I have some company while I'm coding. So no worries. Actually, I appreciate you talking about your usage of Visit. It actually is motivating. So as long as you don't mind that I'm coding and you're kind of talking, I mean, it'll be a little lag until I respond to you. It's actually no problem at all. Okay, so let me add a filter. We're adding it there. I'm actually going to add something here where we're deleting a filter, remove filter, I guess. And I'm just going to delete it. Basically, the idea is that the parameters that are in here are the filters that are on. And so no filters are on at first. Then you go to the filters page. You press A on any row for a filter. It adds all of the parameters as the defaults to here, to the filter params. And then you can adjust those parameters, and it won't add the parameters. It'll just add the filter if it's in a filter params, but it won't add the parameters unless they are different from the defaults. Which, as you'll remember, perhaps if you were watching from a day or two ago, that was the fix for this was to use the defaults for A-gate, and that seemed to get us much better results than trying to set something ourselves. I didn't understand what was going on, which is how it goes. Okay, so a filter params rather, and then a filter defaults. Right, so this is going to be a filter params, filter name, filter parm name 0. That is the default now. We're basically converging on that. And I'm going to get rid of that default, and there's only 2 left here. Is default. Okay, we're going to do a filter parms, blah 0, as before, and then the defaults, and then I'm going to make sure that the default for ratio is 2. I don't know if this is actually all that great of an idea of what I'm doing here, but we'll stick with it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Now I believe the first value in each of these is the default, and then I can remove this whole thing here. Yep. Okay. And then now I'm going to fill out the loud norm for other defaults. And for its defaults rather, and then so let's do this. So at the very least, I want to set -24 and 7.0, and TP is -2.0. There's actually no value here. This is the measured stuff. I was playing around with this the other night, and it's these 4 values, these measured parameters. I may even take them out. They're basically when you run a filter, an FFmpeg filter over the source media, you compute these, the I, the LRA, the TP, the true peak, the lambdas, range target, etc., and then provide them from that. And so it just kind of spits out a JSON dict, and then you copy the values over here. It seems like there should be an easy way to do it, but excuse me. But these actually aren't supposed to be manually settable. So I might just even take them out. Maybe I should. Offset 0 is default. That's great. I already have that in there. I think linear and dual mono are also already set, and I don't care about print format. So at the very least, I could do this, and then we can edit things, edit these parameters. And so let me try that. Actually, yeah, let me just see what happens here if I run this. And go into the filter sheet. Okay, so let me open the filter parameter sheet. It goes into filter parms. I want filter values. Is that right? No, a filter options. A filters options. not parms. So I should probably, okay, parms are both there. I'm going to do a little bit of a quick audit for all of these uses of parms to make sure that they're all correct and they should be using a filter options. And so I kind of, let's see here, command line equals, well, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to say if filter parms and this way, if there's no filters being set up, it'll just be empty space, which is what I want. But it'll always work. And so I noticed there was a blank line in the status when we opened up, and that's this up there. It was saying, oh, no filters are up, which is fine, but not, yeah. Okay, so let's put more parms here. That's the default. Sets it. Okay, that's it. Okay, let's run it again. So look at the, oh, because the value, okay, great. So we're going to filter parameter sheet. The current value is in, we're iterating over the options. This is going to be MPV a filter. This does need to be parms. This is the actual settings. Okay. Key error agate. Because it's not there. Oh, it's just off. Right, okay. And then the parm name should always, oh, I said get that, and then none of that, it's fine. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, so then none, maybe I should get, this is turning into quite a little hairy thing here. The actual a filter options. No. Yeah. We're gonna make is default. Is not none. Is none or that, and then at least. Default is none. Are we passing in the value from parms? Is none is the default. So why does this color everything? Oh. That should be options, first of all. Something's a little screwy here. So if colorize, oh, this is the, I'm sorry, I'm using the wrong one here. Where's the colorization? Oh, I didn't even... Okay, sorry. Fine. I see. Okay, so r dot value is not none and. Is that right? Okay, and then if I go ahead and set this ratio, okay, gotta deal with that. 3 grams. Oh, now it's oh, I have to add. Okay, I have to add the filters, so I'm going to do that proactively. That's kind of, I mean, I could make a message show up and say press A to add the filter, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do the add filter proactively here. Oh. Okay, so we gotta add this, put this add filter on the source sheet on this here. No, this should be on the MTV process. What am I saying? Add filter. I mean, if we're saying filter parameter here, of course it should be there. Now, this is not, this is just self dot. And row isn't quite correct. Now it's gotta put the actual filter name in there. This is a lot cleaner. This makes more sense to me. And now we have to find, this is filter parameters sheet, source, MPV, add filter, great. Here we are. And I was just about to filter name down in there, then self add filter name first, and then sets it. Okay, we can add a message here. Values in dot keys, or I'm sorry, items. Okay.
Let's try it. Are we recording? We are. Okay.
Fabulous.
Oh. Hello.
Okay. That worked wonderfully. And now if I want to add the loud norm here, I didn't add any other values, so I could edit it though and make it be, I don't know, is this going to work? Let's find out. I'll add integrated loudness target, offset gain. Gosh, I wish I knew what these things meant. Let's try this to be negative 36.
Let's try it. Are we recording? We are. Okay. Let's try it. Are we recording?
Oh, okay, well, that was certainly louder. And then I'm going to add D. Oh, I haven't added the remove filter thing yet. Add filter. There we go. And I add D for remove filter. Delete. Nah, remove filter's fine. Okay. So now we can add and remove these filters as we want. Nice. Okay, and then if I wanted to add the compand or other, thanks, Anya, or other filters, I could do that fairly easily. There are so many filters, though, and I'm just going to go ahead and do this so you can see. This is a list of all the filters in FFmpeg. So let's see, this is 563. Now, a lot of those are video filters. There's a handful of ones that are generations, like you can generate just random, or not random, but actual noise or synthesized voice. that's interesting. Huh. That's neat. And like I said, a lot of our video to video, that's probably a good, at least half of them. But there are really still a lot of ones that are audio filters, and they start with A for audio. But yeah, here's a compressor, and you can change the contrast. I mean, they basically are just, this is how we extend FFmpeg is with any other DAW, whether it's command line or otherwise, is with filters. So I'm kind of curious to add echoing. I mean, I don't know. I kind of want to like add all of these, just add them to play around with, and I think that might be a fun task to set AI to, not like as an agent, but just as here's all these filters, here's their parameters, put it in this format, and see how good it does. I might even do that on a live stream if people are interested, seeing how we can pull that off. But for the moment, I've got my couple of filters in there. I feel like we've made some progress. Let me look at my to-do list here. I did remove the diarization from the transcript maker. I still want to now choose better parameters. I have a little bit better of a setup as we just made here. I got a bit of a clue for this weird thing by looking at, or by seeing the MPV, I'm sorry, our filter parameters sheet seemed to update some second or so after. Like if I go in here now, not that one, this one.
Hello, welcome to Magworld.
Why did it just jump in again? I was doing that before and I thought that I fixed. Oh. No. And not paused. Basically what's happening is that because this first line is cut, it's skipping it and then doing play. And so in fact, this is the bit here. But this shouldn't even be happening if we are paused. Maybe we're not seen as being paused yet. Okay, so it doesn't happen every time. Maybe it happens. There you go. Pause, false, happened first. Somehow. Property unavailable. Oh, I see. My MPV query command. Shouldn't matter though. Something's a little screwy here still. Anyway, doesn't happen all the time. And then so I still need to investigate what the A-gate stuff does. This is my own challenge here. So I think that as long as we're here, so today is Visitata's birthday, 9th birthday, it turns out. And so I wanted to be here. I wanted to get to a decent place with this vdaw for kicks. But I'm not going to force it. And I might take off a little earlier here after just an hour or so. And so, well, in the meantime, though, as long as we're here, I might try to do some of these later things. So, for instance, we already did some basic editing. And I might want to add this punch list. Well, rather, save a punch list. The idea is that there's 3 things that I want to save at the other end of this. Well, maybe 4. No, maybe 5. Okay, so the first thing, let's look at the actual outputs here. And we can do a little bit of project management here. So the first thing that I want is an output edited transcript, which has strike through for cut lines, which we already have that, as far as I know. The second thing is I want a transcript with edits and the transcript without with edits cut, cuts included, cuts excluded, transcript of edited episode, like audio. And we don't have that yet, but that would be, I think, fairly easy to add. And then I want a cut list, or call it a punch list. Okay, yeah, a punch list for construction or something. Basically, it's a cut list. It's the list of all things that have to be done to this audio. And so, for instance, in this, it might say, in this one, cut from 0.1 to 0.4 seconds. And it'll just list those without any other context. It could have some context. Maybe it refers you back to this number, this A here. List of edits to apply. So it's kind of like and they're numbered. Here's just what we have, what has to be done. And then the next thing that I want is, and so this one here was put on the website for an episode. This one is here, this and this are sent to an editor. Next thing is to actually ship the actual audio, save audio output, edited audio. And that can be as simple as just pasting non-cut sections together. And the final one is an OMF file for use in other DAW, like Reaper. There are two major formats. There's OMF and AAF, and I guess AAF is newer and less supported. In fact, there's no single file format that will work in all DAWs, or most DAWs even. They mostly expect just audio in, and then you're locked into their DAW until you save more audio out, and then you can transfer it in if you wanted to. But the idea that you would go into a DAW with an existing thing that was generated by some other tool is unusual. But I would like to do it because I like to save my editor some time and say, here, you can start like this and just go to each edit point and do your magic and then master out the other end, and it's not a big deal. But that is also a fair amount of work to save an OMF file. I did a little bit of research into that, and it is not a simple format. It is quite complicated, and it includes all the audio files, the raw audio data, which, yeah, anyway. So we may not get to that, but we can do the other ones. We've got this one already done. I'm going to work on the cut list right now just to get it out of the way. And we may, if we have a few extra minutes, I mean, this is really, we should be able to just blast these out. A and C should be pretty easy to do. In fact, C should just be, we save as this X and D here. Here's the line, and it's basically going to say if the option, let's see, I could either make it an option or a different file format. I think for the moment, I'm going to make it be an option. Include cuts, maybe? Otherwise, line equals nothing. If line. Okay. So that should do that, but I'm going to add a vdaw include cuts. That would be true by default, by default. Vdaw include cuts. I think that will work, no problem. I can verify it. And so if we were to save this, well, first of all, save it as XMD. And then if we edit that transcript, you can see that there it is with the cut. And then if I go back here and daw false. Come on. Okay, and then save it to that. Yep. Not there, which is fine. Okay, so one down. That was what, 2 minutes? Not a big deal. Cuts excluded. Based on options, include cuts. Is that right? Yeah, okay. And then, thanks, Anya. And then we're going to make a cut list, which should also be pretty easy. Here we go. This is it. Save text punch list. Okay. Let's call it, let's just make a save cut list. I don't like that these are all global. Like if you import this, so right now the DAW, this vdaw is experimental. It's in the experimental directory, which means that you have to actually import it somehow, and I do it in my vdaw.rc, to get access to these things. And so no one is going to find these kind of in the wild, but if they do end up importing that and then forgetting about it, then now we're going to have these extra formats laying around, which I guess is fine, but it makes me uneasy, and I wish that they were just on the single DAW DAW sheet that we have, so that you can't save a cut list from a non-DAW sheet. That would make sense to me. And there's a couple other save things like this, and so if I were to put something on the Visited roadmap from this, it would be to make save per sheet, or allowing sheets to override or add their own saving. In fact, that would make this a lot cleaner, because then I would say, oh, if you're saving the DAW sheet as Markdown, it acts like this instead of the classic Markdown. I'm going to make it my own XMD format. That's bonkers. I don't need to do that. So I want to do that, but we're not going to do that right now. We are going to make a cut list here, though. So let's see. I'm going to same thing. And we're going to, okay. So to start, we can iterate through each of the rows, and if they're cut, we'll add it to the cut list. No problem. But I would like to, I think, immediately after that, roll up a sequence of rows. So basically, if any consecutive set of cuts becomes a single cut. That makes sense to me. So you can kind of just select a bunch of rows, say this whole section is out, cut it, and then it shows up as one single cut for the editor. So given that I want to do that, I think I might inside cut. Then we're going to iterate through the rows. And if we have, and so actually it's going to be a cut start, and this is going to be a time, equals none. It's not great, but I guess it's fine. And then cut end equals none. So if row.cut, yeah, then if cut start is set, it's not none, then cut end equals row.end, and we'll just keep doing that. If it is none, then we have to set both. So if cut start is none, set cut start equals row.start. Always set cut end. If it's not cut, then if cut start is not none, then we actually output one of these entries in here, and so we're actually going to do a p.write. Let's just make it be dot for now. Cut from cut start to cut end. New line. Okay. And if it is none, doesn't matter. But now we have to actually reset it to none. This shouldn't matter, but I'll do it anyway. And that might be it. Do we think this will work? Who wants to vote and guess whether this will just work as it is? Is any issues that I can see out of the gate? I thought I had something in my head, but I can't remember at the moment. So let's, yeah, sure, why not? Why wouldn't it work? I can't see a reason why it wouldn't work. So we're going to save this off as cut list. Okay, it didn't break anyway. That's good. And that seems legit. Oh, I wanted to make this be 2 HMS. Yeah, I think so. And then, oh, and I wanted to actually also give it a number here. And so we're going to say I plus equals 1, I equals 0. And let me do a couple other cuts here just to do, so I don't know. Okay. Gosh. Okay, anyway, do that, and I'll do these things, whatever, save cut list off, yes. Okay, so that seems basically legit. And I will add a simple right here of the source audio. Edits for cut list for edits for sheet dot collected. Yes, that's correct. That's the goal. Exactly. That's what this whole cut start cut end stuff is about. And it's sheet dot source audio. I think maybe it's sheet dot MPEG source audio. Okay. So, fine. Like 2 new lines there. Yeah. And the only thing I could add here is to say like the start of it to the end of it. So I can actually say, I mean, it would be the cut start row and let me just do cut start, and this is I don't know, the first like 10 characters. And the last 10 characters. Ah. Okay. Oh, it's this way. The last 10 characters. Okay, great. Okay, that's reasonable. And then, okay, that's fine. I think we're basically done. Now, I was noticing that as I'm doing this, that I'm pressing X. I don't like it. I'm going to change this to D. Basically, it's adding and deleting, just like in Visited. Because I don't want to delete rows in here. I want to cut rows. And so we're just going to we're going to use that same flavor. But I also, when you do a D, I want to advance the cursor. And so if I look at how this happens in visited it itself here. Thanks, Anya. I want to look at delete. Is it delete row, I think? Sure. Oh, look at that. Cursor down 1. Perfect. Cool. And I want to see if I add a marker. I should also probably do the cursor down for that. If I play this around here, let's see here. I don't know.
Mag 5.
Okay, $100,000 is Mag 5 150.
This is
Right.
wrong.
That makes sense.
Whole generalized mishmash, exactly.
Oh.
So,
Okay.
let's talk about the smallest app.
Okay, so I just added a marker here, and it stayed on the previous one, but I wanted to move to the next one. I think I want to cursor down 2. Because it's going to skip not just the current line, but also the marker, and then stay on the audio track. So I think that's going to be good. And the other thing that I wanted to add a volume control, but I'm not sure how easy that is. It must be fairly straightforward with MPV. Anyway, I added the cut list. And I just fixed that. Okay, so I think we're actually doing pretty well here. I have this other last item for basic editing. The idea, and I think I'm not going to implement this just yet. It'll be very easy to do. So in that sense, maybe I should just get it out of the way because I said I wanted it, and it seems like it makes sense that I would want it. But the idea is that, I've set a marker because I can tell that this is a break in the conversation. This is like a new segment coming up. And I'm not doing anything with this stuff yet, but when I get to a certain other point, whether I pause it or whatever, even to the cursor on that line, I want to say everything from the cursor to that previous marker, select it, and then I'll probably delete it, or there's something else I can do with it. And that, I already have ZS or GZS. ZS, I think, is when it goes up. And so I think I would make ZS do that, except for go to the previous marker instead of all the way up to the top of the file. So I'll at least add that to think about it. I'm not sure how I want to do that right now, though, because I haven't strictly needed it yet. I kind of like doing things just in time, just as they're needed. Otherwise, you over-engineer things. Anya says this is sort of what. Oh yeah, well okay. So the open curly brace and closed curly brace. You're right, Anya. They do move between selected rows, but they move the cursor, and this is changing the selection. So I could imagine actually, you know what? I could imagine like a Z curly brace doing exactly what you're saying. Well, no, except for that would be Z curly brace going to the previous selection. It's kind of like select everything to that. Actually, that wouldn't be that worth a better idea, actually. To have a way to select to the previous selected thing. So you select one of them, scroll on to wherever you are next, and then say select up to there. That kind of makes sense to me. And in fact, that might even be more useful than what we've got currently, because right now it's only to the top of the file, and it's seldom that it's the whole file you want to select from the current cursor. In fact, then this would be a degenerate case of what we're talking about, where if you want to do the current behavior, you would select the first row, then go down to where you wanted to select from to, and then ZS. So, honestly, good idea, Anya, linking those together. I think that we might wind up either changing ZS, which I'm not sure if anybody uses, to be honest. I use it, but I'm not sure if anybody else knows it's there. And Z curly brace. In fact, Z curly brace and Z close brace, that makes a lot more sense than ZS and GZS. Huh. Okay, maybe I wind up doing that. And then would that fit in here? So my question is, if I do that, does that make this command become a moot point? Because all I would do then is select the marker, except I'm already moving. I've already moved on. So it's hard to go back to the... Oh, we have the marker movement though, don't we? We would just go curly brace, right? Or I'm sorry, angle bracket. Yeah, angle bracket S. Now, okay, the problem that we have now is we don't have a way to go back to the most recent place. So basically, and this is something that Vista is missing too. In Vim, you can use, of course, Control I and Control O to go back and forth in, let's call it cursor time. And Vista does need something like that. So you basically, if you go to the top of the file, for instance, you can instantly get back to the exact row that you were on. So we would add, if we added that, and that would be a really useful thing to have, just even one level of that would be useful, and I totally get it. Then you could go up to the previous marker. I can imagine like a less than S, let's call it Control O, whatever the command is that takes you back to the previous cursor position, and then Z, open curly brace to that selection. Actually, that's a pretty fine workflow instead of adding a custom command. So I like it. I think that we will try to add that. And then these numbered markers are also something that Vista kind of needs. This might be like instead of having only one level of marker or undo cursor, we could have numbered markers. Anyway, I'm not sure, but I feel like both these items here could be handled with core Vista changes, and not even that big, like really tiny ones, to be honest. Just an added command or two. In fact, what do we got? It's 3 o'clock now. I've been here for an hour. I don't know. I might. Should I just go ahead and implement the Z curly brace things? That seems pretty handy. Letting y'all weigh in. If you say, please don't, then I won't. Yeah, thanks, Anya. I appreciate your support. Let's do it. Let's go. Okay. So let's try it. Okay. Let's do it. Let me save this off here. And yeah, let's do some vdaw work. So vdaw movement. I want Z. I think this is selection, actually, isn't it? I have a ZS. Here we are. ZS and GZS. And so we're going to make this select to previous selection. And it's going to be this, and then this is going to be select to next select. And I have to figure out how I'm going to structure this. Select rows from previous. How do I say this in the search? It's always the hardest part. How does the help strings look like? From backwards. Something like that. Select rows backwards, select rows forwards to next selected row. Right. Okay. Well, yeah, Anya, if you have a better idea of how to say this in the help text, I would love to hear it. It's it's not trivial. I don't like the command names either, but okay, what are we gonna do here? We're gonna select the rows. How does the might be a movement. Go previous selected, go next selected. It might be select to previous selected and next selected. That would make sense. I do it. Move to next row. It's actually not a move, it's a find next row. It's very close to this, but it's and an open question is, if there is no previously selected row, does it select everything to the top of the file? Is that like the degenerate case? Or does it error out? Or does it select the current row? Guessing it should error out. That would be my feeling anyway. You know, I really want... Oh, sorry. So we're making this Z curly brace command that will select to the previously selected row. If there is no previously selected row, does it error out? Does it select to the top of the file, like ZS currently does? Or does it select the current row only? Or something else? Really? Oh, I see. I can't use move to next row as a function that returns a value because it's async thread, and so that just won't work. Okay. Thank you, Anya. We're going to copy this whole thing and select to next row. I would do it so that I could get rid of the ZS command or deprecate the ZS command and say, oh, well, Z curly, well, except for it won't work in that case if you have anything else selected. So maybe I want both commands after all. Yeah, I think I don't personally want it or need it. And we have been trending in Visited towards commands having a more precise action, because then you can use them in the command logs and they're more reliable. Whereas, you know, if you, let's say you select everything that's got a certain character in it and then nothing has that character in it, now the behavior all of a sudden changes, whereas you'd expect it to either error or do nothing. So yeah, that's, even though it might be handy or clever, it might be not correct because of the command log. So we're going to do this select to next row here. That's not even correct. Oh, that changed this here. This is actually not correct here. Who said that? Is that me? Was me. Wow, back in 2018. Well, that was true. Perhaps once upon a time, but not anymore. Okay, and this function is going to be is selected. Sheet is selected row. Oh, does this? No, that's fine. Okay, that's good. So instead of doing this, we're going to find the... Right, we're going to find the... Oh. Sorry, I'm debating whether I want to be selecting as we go, which is easiest, but then I would be selecting everything, versus finding the first row and then going forward or backward depending. It's kind of gross, but found row index. Tie. It's none. And now we're going to go, if reverse, we'll go from found row index to the cursor row index. And select them all. Actually, this is going to be just via select and the rows from. And otherwise, we're going to select all the rows from the cursor row index to the found row index. Well, it's already... We're going to make it not inclusive, I guess. Shouldn't matter, actually. Okay, so we've added this select next row, which might work as it is. Let's make this Z thing here, and it won't be selected. We select the next row from we pass it a function. I could, yeah, we'll just do it. Lambda sheet equals sheet. Row sheet is selected row. Okay. Oh, this is reverse is true. Yep. And then same for this one. Reverse not true. Okay, this might work. Who thinks this is going to work? Sample rows, go for our benchmark. Okay, so if I start here and then Z that, did not like that. Parameter without a default follows. Really? Previous selected parameter without a default. Oh, I got it backwards. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Not bad. I think that just did it. So I don't quite like the fact that we copied this whole function and it's kind of a mess, but I don't know, it works anyway. So yeah, good enough. Yeah, so that's how I would do for that. And then here, like I said, we don't need, well, it's not perfect because you have to find the previous marker, select it, and then, so we still need the one return to previous cursor position functionality. Trying, oh, no selected, good idea, Anya, good idea. So unselect everything and then, oop, no selected row. And if I do it up here and go to the bottom, everything is selected. Yeah. Yeah, that's functional anyway. Oh, I'm going to add go previous selected and go next selected to, I'm sorry, wherever you were here. Adding these to the menu because that's what we do here. Go select to from previous selected and to next selected, and then should it be right here? Good enough. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and add this. Not these guys, but the thing we just implemented here. Yes, 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 yes. And this is going to be the actual visited a feature. For selection to select to next selected. Okay. Now, of course, there's a lot more work that has to happen with this. We have to add it to the man page. We have to, I mean, I'm incurring debt. That's right, Wombat. We're incurring debt to our future shipping selves who are going to have to explain this. It took us 15 minutes to make, and it'll take us 3 hours overall to document and ship ultimately. But I think this is a good one. So it seems to fit, and I think we'll use it as we are creating this vdaw thing. So yeah, I'm going to add the other things we have here, and I call it a good session. So yeah, maybe you can help with shipping, Anya. I would appreciate that. Okay, thanks very much for being here, you guys. I'm planning on, well, I hope to be here tomorrow. There's a chance that I won't be streaming tomorrow for a couple of reasons. I'm visiting a friend before that, so I may not be done in time. And I'm feeling a little bit under the weather today. Hopefully it's just a little tired and I'll be recovered. But if I'm actually getting sick, then I probably won't live stream tomorrow. But otherwise, I will see you guys tomorrow at the same bat time. Thank you Anya, yes, happy 9th birthday to Visit And yeah, hopefully I'll see you in a future session. Okay, cheers everyone. Thanks for being here. Bye, Wombat.